welcome to the palace. Welcome, my children. It's finally very wonderful to meet you all.
Indeed, it is wonderful to have you all here.
Even though we are cooped up in our homes in these difficult times, the Navatman team is already full steam ahead on creating part 2 of the Mahabharata and translating the production into a movie format, which will debut on screen. The team is using the power of the arts to battle cultural stereotypes and create a cultural awakening. Tonight, we invite you to drop away from the real world for the next hour or so with us as we become immersed in the story of Navatman's Mahabharata and engage in dialogue among the cast that shines a light on the true depth of this undertaking. So consider this your behind the scenes special. Now, to start off, I'd like to ask Sridhar, as the one who helped to guide this whole vision of this show, how did you sort of see this develop? How did you encourage this?
It's beyond words and mind-blowing. That's what I would say. It's been such a fantastic experience as a person or anybody with a vision, they expect the best. And when I started working, it's like beyond the best. The amount of time invested, the amount of uh, potentials invested, the returns are humongous. And this is what we have to see today to get that. And most of us hold the art to ourselves, but we do not pass the art to others. But here you see the young generation and 2 generations later coming in, getting so deeply involved in presenting something such a fabulous work. I think it's mind blowing, and I want everybody to know that this is a work of passion where they've invested tons and it's worth billions. Please, it's the best work. And I think it's all by the team where you see youngsters and every person taking deeply involved into that and taking the arts into such a place by putting it on the world pedestal. It's just purely the classical form of Indian tradition. We are not mincing words here. We are not trying to dilute with new age or modernity or anything, but passionately involved. But also, like getting in the new age stuff into what we need to present this. Because Mahabharata is again, it's irrelevant even today, and the research which our team has done and how we have worked together is absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah, and that's so beautifully said that the Mahabharata is still relevant today. Let's talk about that a little bit more. The Mahabharata is a fairly popular vehicle of expression in the artistic community. So Sahi, I'll ask you as the artistic director, what was your reason for selecting this story? And I think you're muted. Yeah.
For us, it was kind of twofold a little bit. One is, yes, within the dance and music community in India, it's very popular. But outside of that community, which is the space in which Navatman really works, we work in a very mixed audience space, it was not seen. So to put the Mahabharata, which is one of the 2 largest epics in the world, dwarfing the Iliad and the Odyssey, on a stage in New York City was a huge deal for us because it was showing audiences outside of the Indian community what these stories were, what these cultural spaces were. Uh, Beyond that, we were also looking at things like we wanted something for Diwali that was sort of our nutcracker. Around December, you always go to see some kind of show as a family. It's a very traditional thing you do here in America. So we were wondering, can we start our own Diwali tradition for Indians and Americans alike in the US? But as we delved further into this, we really realized there was so much more beyond that. What students were telling us, parents were telling us, a lot of parents themselves didn't know the stories and were learning about their own cultural space from the Mahabharata. A lot of students were telling us that it was so inspiring to see their people like themselves on a stage like that. we realized we had to go further with it. And now, with everything going on in the world around us, we thought we really have to take it to the next level. The global space is available to us now, and people will watch a film like this that has been translated to music and dance. So now is the best time for us to really see if we can re-inspire everyone around the Indian arts again with a film like this. Can you imagine if you see a film of someone like yourself or classically based in music and dance, what that would do for you? So like this, that's why we're taking it forward now.
Okay, great. And I remember in some of the earlier conversations, the cast members were talking about how they sort of learned the story of the Mahabharata, or came to their own interpretations during this process. Samantha, Mika, can you shed some light into the unexpected ways in which the Mahabharata became more important to you during the production?
Yeah, so for me, I had always known about the Mahabharata and also the Ramayana. As Sahi was saying, they're these massive epics, but I had never learned about them in school. I always kind of knew about them peripherally from my family, and I knew some of the stories. So when I had the opportunity here to be a part of the Mahabharata, it was really important to me not just to, perform and be a part of something like this, but to also just learn more about these stories and to therefore learn about my culture.
So for my experience, similar to Mika's in terms of not really learning anything about the Mahabharata in high school. So not knowing anything other than knowing of it. And even at home, not really learning a lot about the stories and the depth of those stories and characters. Because most people don't know that I actually come from a mixed family. My father is Indian, but my mother is Puerto Rican. So coming from a mixed household, you also get not really a clash, but an inundation of cultures. And also sometimes some of those things slip away a little bit. And I feel like being a part of the Mahabharata and the production gave me more of an insight into not only furthering my knowledge of dance, but more into my own culture, my own history, and kind of opening that door into a part of myself that maybe I didn't realize was missing, but now that I have it, realizing that so much more is open. There's so much more to learn and grasp about both sides of myself.
So let's take a look at some of these cultural moments now together.
As rulers of Bharatavarsha and Hastinapura, you demand more of yourselves each day.
tari kukundari ta hata jam tari ta takundari tata hata jam tari tei takundari ta hata jam tata hata jam tari taringina tom taringina tom takadiku taringina drugutatum drugutatum drugutaka 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 drugutatum drugutatum drugutaka 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 drugutatum drugutatum drugutaka 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 drugutatum drugutatum drugutaka drugutaka talankutaka taringina tom ta tei ta tei ta tei ta tei ta tingina tom ta tam ta tam ta tam dalankutum ta titta dingina tom ta